Hey guys, what's up? It's Patu, and welcome back to another episode of Unova Month. If y'all don't know and are new to the channel, Unova Month is going to be a month of December where we cover everything Unova themed, so Gen 5, Black and White, anything you can really think of. And today I actually want to talk about a very interesting plush group that I have in my collection, as well as that I really want to get the rest of set up. And that is the Jakks Pacifc Generation 5 Set 1. Now, I kind of want to do every set that we have for Generation 5, so which I believe is about 4 sets they made in total, from the game's perception and how Jakks Pacifc made them until like the last set. Maybe this month I'll cover all of them. I'm going to try my best to, and then at the end of the month I'll probably put them all together. But I'm really excited to talk about this as it is one of my favorites and actually my first set of plushies that I ever had. I have only like half of the plushies in the collection. However, I do want to talk about those, and as well as that, talk about the ones that I don't have. And the set that they have is Oshawott, Snivy, Tepig, Pidove, Muna, and Sandile. And while I have a few of these guys, some of these guys I actually need to add to the collection sometime soon, so I'd actually love to get this plush collection and finish the set. It would be very awesome for me as a personal collector. I'd love to finish it and maybe in the future do the other sets. But I'm going to just talk about these collection video. I'm going to talk about all these plushies in the set, and I'm going to tell y'all what I think about them, my review, and my personal rating on all of them. And then, like I said, if y'all like this, I might actually do set 2 through 4. We shall see. But let's start off with the best boy, and we're talking about Oshawott. So, Oshawott, if you haven't seen my videos and don't know, Oshawott is obviously one of the mascots. Actually, the 3 starters from Gen 5 is my mascots. But Oshawott is, of course, my favorite Pokemon in all of Pokemon for the most part. He's also tied with, like, Lycanroc and with Poochyena, but they're not a part of Unova. We don't care about them. But this plushie for Oshawott I actually have in my collection, and I'm actually giving one away. So if you haven't entered the giveaway on my channel, go look down, and I'll actually have it in the description below. So go join that Oshawott giveaway. We have another Oshawott from Jazzbears we're giving away. But that Oshawott that I do have in my collection, he is a personal favorite, obviously, because it was the first Oshawott plush I ever got. And I honestly think it's a pretty solid Oshawott. However, I'm going to give it only like a 7 out of 10 just because there is some things that I'm not truly a fan of. One thing being the little awkward smile he has on his face. The awkward smile I'm not really a fan of. I really like the otter mouth, how they have it kind of like an upside down V on most of the plushies. That is honestly how I like my plushies by. I really love having that like upside down V reaction. It just looks like a normal animal when it does that, but whenever he has a little smile, it just kind of reminds me of a clown, I'll be honest. I love Oshawott, but the clown face is not the best. I do love the freckles too. The freckles are a really good part. One thing that I will say as well though is that the head and the nose are always misshapen. Whenever you get one of these plushies, they were not very good at having them all seem the same. So you'll have one with like a misshapen head, or the nose will be the wrong area, or the nose will be like upside down a little bit, or it just kind of won't be an oval. And then if you move down to the body is pretty cool. The hands are pretty normal. The body is Oshawott shaped. I'll say it's Oshawott shaped. The toes are kind of weird because they're kind of like on the side instead of just down below to where he's kind of standing. So it kind of looks like he has awkward feeding. But the one thing that I do want to talk about the body that I'm also kind of about is the shell they have on their body. So with the body, it's like I said, pretty well made. The shell will be very different from every other plush. So you'll have one shell where it looks perfect. However, there'll be another one where it's just kind of a circle. You can't even really distinguish the shell from each other. And so from that, I think I want to give it a 7 out of 10. Still a very excellent plushie. One of my favorites in my collection. Obviously with it being Oshawott. And it's kind of middle of the road for me whenever I rank them. And then next up, a very interesting fact about this one, we're going to talk about Snivy. And I did get Snivy at the same time that I got Tepig, that I got a Muna, and that I got the Oshawott. However, the one difference is all of those I've had to replace throughout the years because my old dog, Halo, rest in peace, Halo, kind of torn them up whenever he was a puppy. So sadly, I don't have those anymore, at least the originals. Snivy, I still have the original of. And I'm very happy to say he is still holding up perfect. He may be missing his tags because I think I cut off his tag a long time ago, but you know what? He's still one of my favorite plushies, and he's always been out on my collection. And basically, the whole time I've started collecting, I think out of all the main starters, Snivy might be the most like honestly strongest of the three when it comes to design wise and how it looks. I do really love how his tail, unlike most Snivy plushies nowadays, isn't like fully stuffed. It's just kind of like felt on there that was stitched together to the Snivy plush, and I think it's a really excellent plush in my collection. It's honestly my favorite Snivy just in general because with that little felt on there, it actually seems like a leaf. Because whenever you have the like more padded out, stuffed up Snivy, when you have the when you have the more padded and stuffed up snivy tails, it kind of looks like a weird butt. But for me, I feel like the felt works perfectly, even though it doesn't always stand. If you have it pressed up against something, it will stay there. I think the hands look great. They're also just kind of felt. It's just really good at keeping it looking very, very slim. I love how the eye looks. The eye shows off that really good personality. And if you are like me, you consider Snivys female, like how Ash had in the anime. I've always considered Snivy being a female, so this honestly just pulls off a very feminine look for me. It like looks like a really good plushie. I'm assuming whenever I'm doing this, you're actually gonna just see me looking and showing off the plushie, which if I am, then thank God for that. But I'm gonna give this guy a good 8 out of 10. I do really like this. My one downfall is I've noticed with this one that I actually own, as well as another one that I actually have in my car, because I do have the OG Oshawa and I have the OG Tepic or OG. I have the OG Oshawa and the OG Snivy in my car that I actually got from Akari for pretty cheap. And they have a really weird thing with their chins now, where their chins kind of start to like point out, so it looks like an awkward, like honestly, like a mega chin kind of thing. So I'm like, ugh. But all in all, pretty decent plush. And finally, I think the only one that I actually have from set one still at the moment, and that is going to be the fire starter Tepig. Now, Tepig, I think looks really good. Honestly, it's more slimmer than you would maybe think of Tepig, because whenever I think of Tepig, I do think of a chubby little pig. However, he's a pretty slim first plush, and out of the three, he was actually given the most like personality, I believe. He has a really angry eye or like an action eye instead of the normal like big-eyed smile that you would see in most of his plushies. It looks like he's getting ready to attack, so his body proportions are kind of different from just like sitting in normal. He looks like he's about to pounce, which is actually really, really cute. And he just has a look of determination on his face. And honestly, it is one of my favorites out of the collection. I'm actually looking at him right now as I'm talking about this, and he does not have any disproportions that I could think of. His tail looks great, his body looks great. Only thing I can think of is he's a little slimmer. So if you like a slimmer Tepig, then this is probably your choice. However, if you want a more plump Tepig, I do suggest the brand Presto or maybe the Pokemon Center. Those are the ones that I also have as well. But all in all, I think that Tepig is a pretty renowned like plush. He's pretty well. I think they all three starters look perfect together. They look amazing in my opinion, and I think they're pretty good. I'm gonna rate Tepig like honestly, I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10. I think Tepig is the more stronger one of the three. Now looking at it, I thought it was gonna be Snivy, but now looking at all three of them, I will say that Tepig seems to be my favorite. But now with that, we do move on to the three that I actually don't have in my collection just yet. I do really hope to get them. Two of which I actually don't even have a plush at all in my collection, which I'm like, oh, that's terrible. But that's going to start out with Sandile. Now, Sandile, whenever I was looking back at this, I'm actually really surprised that Sandile was actually a part of this collection. I don't remember ever seeing a Sandile plush in stores back when I was younger. I remember seeing Oshawott, Tepig, Pansage, stuff like that, but I do not remember. I just don't have any memory of having Sandile anywhere in any kind of stores like Walmart or Target. But I think it's a pretty well plush. I think this is honestly the best Sandile plush they've made. It'd be arguable if it's better than Sitting Cuties, but honestly for me, I feel like the Sandile's proportions are perfect. The face looks like a normal Sandile plush. There's not much to say about Sandile, especially since I don't have him in my collection. I'm gonna rate him a good like let's say 8 out of 10. I'm gonna call him 8 out of 10. So he's not bad. but he's not perfect. He is the best that I've seen. However, I haven't seen too many Sandile plushies, and I haven't seen the Pokemon Center Sandile plush yet ever. Like just in general, besides like some promotional pictures. So honestly, that may have an upper stance, but I don't know for sure. And then the final one from this collection, which honestly I didn't know too much about it until looking back, because this is also like in the Sandile realm, where I didn't really see too many of these ever, either in store or on Macari when I've been looking for plushies, and that is the Jakks Pacifc Pidove. Now, Pidove actually does look pretty decent for what it is. It is just the pigeon Pokemon, so at least the second variation of a pigeon Pokemon. Pidgey kind of has that first portion. But I do think Sandile but I do think that P- but I do think that P-Dove is one of the stronger options when it comes to these sets. I do really like how it just kind of looks like the art, in my opinion. The sewing looks correct from what I've seen. The body doesn't have too many dysmorphia portions where it kind of looks weird or it's head-shaped weird body, whatever. One thing that I have noticed from a few of these though are the nose tend to go down, which the Jakks Pacific and their bird Pokemon do not have a tendency to be very good with this kind of thing happening, such as the Starly plush that I actually have. His nose is kind of pointing down, so if you have it pressed weirdly and it starts to form that way, you will have a very weird looking Pidove. Besides that, I think it's a pretty decent plush. I do really like this Pidove. Whenever it comes out, I do probably plan to get this plush as well for Jakks Pacific, if I can find one for a decent price, I should say. All these plushies I do want to find for decent prices, so if I'm able to do that, that would be amazing, and I would love that. For now, I'm just going to look at its beauty. I'm going to say that's pretty decent for a Pidove plush. There's not too many besides Sitting Cuties and what? Maybe Tommy made one? I don't know. And that was set 1 for Pokemon Black and White's Jakks Pacific line. Now, if you really like this video and want to hear more of me just talking, I didn't really have a script for this one. I'm just kind of going based off of what I've seen. So maybe some of the other ones that I do in the future this month will have more scripted elements. But besides that, I liked it. I'll be honest. I really like Jakks Pacific. I do like their awkwardness sometimes. I do love this generation, and I do love the set 1 that they made. It's honestly one of my favorite sets just because of the memories that it has. Shout out to my friend Carter, who actually got me a lot of these for my birthday back whenever I didn't even have a 3DS yet. I didn't even have a DS yet. That was the same year I got a 3DS. And it was just honestly a perfect year for me. And Black and White is such a memorable part of my childhood. That's why I have Unova month. I don't have a Sinnoh month. I don't have a Johto month. I have a Unova month, and I'm super, super happy to say I'm gonna give this Jakks Pacific line a good 8 out of 10. I do really like the plushies they have in there. All the starters, it was perfect. But the question is, how's set 2 gonna look in the future when we take a look at it? Alright guys, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you like button and subscribe. I'd love to know which part of the set is your favorite. So just let me know from set 1, which one of these guys would you either buy or do you already have? I'd love to know. Maybe for me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!